Puharich was away. The children were in the house and they escaped, but the family dog died in the fire. And also, Puharich already published major parts of his story before the fire. So, like, not all the CIA evidence was destroyed.
Right.
Or not all the evidence was destroyed by the CIA. And, yeah, this is, like, just a piece of the whole kind of puzzle. So, he goes to Mexico for a period of time, and then goes to Europe for a little, and then eventually goes back to North Carolina and passes away.
God bless.
Yeah. Hangs out in Mexico City. He's like, there's some probably mystical things going on here.
That's probably awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But once again, these channeling mediums don't stop. So we did an entire episode on the raw tapes. RA, not RAW.
I was going to say, I've seen them.
And that creates a whole thing of like the law of one, where there's another trance medium that interprets like an entire like full-on philosophy over like 158 recorded sessions from this entity claiming to be Ra. And there's a whole thing. They eventually ask Ra about the Council of Nine because they hear about Puharich's research. And Ra, during a totally different trance session that Puharich's not involved with, says the council exists. There's 9 members. Their guardian function is involving Earth. And they are associated with Saturn. And they operate beyond ordinary time.
They're associated with Saturn?
Perhaps that's where they live. That's where their connection is. That's their symbol. Who knows?
So we think they're physical beings just posted up on... I think we can see Saturn pretty well.
Yeah.
You know?
Maybe they're on the rings. I don't know.
It's possible.
They might be out there.
It's possible. It could also... None of it could be true.
Yeah.
That's possible too as well.
Hey guys, we're going to take a break really quick because I want to talk to you about the thing in your back pocket that's probably a disaster. Yeah, this episode is brought to you by Extra and the new Wallet Pro. I switched to this and I'm not going back. This is genuinely the wallet that I use every day. It is next-gen Italian leather and it's got this metal ejector trigger, so you hit the button with your thumb and all your cards instantly fan out. One hand, instant, no more digging around at the counter. And yeah, you're not going to be holding up the line next time you're trying to like cash out. And here's what gets me. It's the slimmest leather wallet that Extra has ever made, but it actually holds more. Yeah, up to 14 cards plus your cash, and it sits flat in your pocket, no plastic anywhere. It is all recycled aluminum and real leather, and it comes with a lifetime warranty. So yeah, this is basically the last wallet that you will ever buy. And here's the kicker. It is Extra's 10th anniversary sale right now. So you're going to get up to 40% off through August 17th. You go to partner.extra.com/campgagnon. It's linked in the description too, and use the code GAGNON20 to get an extra 20% off on top of that. Yes, it comes with Extra's 100-day money-back guarantee, so there is literally zero risk. Upgrade that beat-up wallet that you have that's falling apart. Get this wallet that is perfect Italian leather. It smells great. It has no plastic, and it holds everything you need and more. You will thank me later. Now let's get back to the show. Hey guys, we're going to take a break really quick because it's summertime. And I got to tell you something. There's a specific point every summer where you realize that your entire personal style has just been like the same jacket or the same pair of shoes. And that's why I've been rocking with GLD. You see it on my neck. I wear it in every single episode. I wear it all the time. I mean, look at this. The first thing I noticed when I picked it up is like the weight. It's genuinely substantial. It feels great. It has like an actual like an actual texture to it. It's awesome. And the details look even better in person. I didn't expect it. The website, it looks good, but when it's in my hand and around my neck, it actually is way better. I got this crucifix here. Of course, I'm Catholic. I got to represent Jesus Christ. And I wear it while I'm recording, while I'm going out, traveling, even when I'm sleeping, even when I'm showering. And it's great. I don't have to completely reinvent my wardrobe. Just one little chain elevates all my looks. GLD has chains and pendants and bracelets and watches at pretty much every price point. You can get the 18 karat gold plated piece like this, along with options in solid gold and even natural diamonds. GLD also has more than 2 million customers and over 50,000 5-star reviews, and every piece is guaranteed for life. So whether you want something subtle or you want a piece that completely changes your outfit, GLD makes it easy to upgrade your style without having to overthink it, and of course, without having to break the bank. And great news, for a limited time, if you are listening to this right now, if you are a camper, you are going to get an insane deal. When you use the code CAMP, C-A-M-P, you're going to get 40% off at GLD.com. 40% off with the code CAMP at GLD.com. And after you purchase, they're going to ask how you heard about them. Make sure you tell them that Mark and Christos from the campsite sent you. Now let's get back to the show. So let's go through some theories, okay? Like Puharich's whole life,
yeah,
as well as the raw tapes and all that stuff. Possible theory A, something actually contacted them. consciousness maybe is non-local. There's a higher intelligence out there. Humans are interpreting those intelligences through like culture. So like Egyptians are like gods, and then Christians are like angels. And then the modern person is like interdimensional beings that we're communicating with. That's like an ancient consciousness. That's one. Another one is that the human mind is collaboratively building a mythology. So maybe no one is like consciously lying, but like one medium says something, another person kind of interprets it, a researcher writes it down, someone reads a book, another medium channels like another similar thing that, you know, she or he thinks, and then all of a sudden the repetition feels like confirmation, but no one is remembering where this original idea comes from, kind of like a meme. There's also like psychological experimentation, right? Like there's powerful institutions that really did investigate like hypnosis or remote viewing and like psychological warfare. So the question is not like, did the government really do this? Because they did. The bigger part is like how much of this mythology is overlapping with those projects, and like is it possible that like we're tying in a bunch of different threads here to kind of like form one cohesive theory?
Yeah, it could be any of those.
Could be any. Well,
Where are you at?
Generally, I'm gonna say I don't think consciousness is just in our brains. I think it's got to be out there somewhere. Like you take mushrooms and you're like, dude, we're all connected. This is crazy.
Right.
So that's a thread, right? I also like believe in God, where I'm like, okay, well, there's something else out there. There's something going on. So we're not the only things, you know, thinking in the universe. So then it's like, is it possible to like fully receive information from outside our consciousness, like remote viewing? I'm like, I'm gonna give it like a 51% likelihood. Where I'm like, I think low key one person maybe could have. But I can't just tell if I want to believe that. But I also look at some of these research docs about like the U.S. government, and I'm like, there's something going on.
Yeah, there's very clearly something that we don't understand. And I think that in our attempts to grasp something that is beyond us, sometimes we report through, it could be, you know, years of storytelling or whatever, we report things with full certitude, like, hey, I figured it out, and none of those end up being reliable. Yeah. But they're all trying to describe the same thing. Like the one feeling I've got every time and sometimes I just take shrooms and like vibe, but like the times that I've done it and like felt like, oh, I'm like experiencing some sort of other realm, it's always this thing of like, everyone is trying to describe something, but there is no way to fully describe it. And so whenever I come back and start describing it, even that is imperfect. Right. But if you're trusting that whoever went over there to experience something is reporting back the exact thing, and then you get dogmatic about those exact words and lessons and whatever, then you end up getting into territory where like, no, some of it was probably true and some of it's probably false, and then scientifically none of it adds up.
Yeah, exactly. But it's all, but like experience is also such a hard thing to try to.
There's something. Like all I can land at is like, oh, there's something.
How do you describe like the experience of love, or like any other type of like subjective experience? It's like, I can't be in your brain, you can't be in my brain. Right. So it's like, how do you even you can't even really know that.
I remember thinking about this like since I was like 5 years old, where I was like, my brother liked orange juice and I didn't, and I was just like, what if it just tastes completely opposite to us? Yeah. And we're having the same thing, but our experience of it is so different. And even as I grow, get older, and like it, it could be, who knows if it's totally different. Yeah. There's no actual way to guarantee it.
And so trying to like put a scientific process, which I get the need for scientific methodology, but on like
it is important, because otherwise you can't take any of this shit to the bank.
No, but even still, there's limitations to the process where you're trying to describe this subjective psychedelic experience.
Right. And science has been very wrong in the past about certain things as well.
About some things, right?
But it's, you know.
So it becomes like hazardous in that way. But then the fact like the military's interested, the governments are interested, other people are like using this kind of stuff. Like the Nazis were using the Pendulum Institute, trying to like find, you know, American ships out in the Atlantic during World War II, pulling psychics out of concentration camps, being like, figure out where the boats are. Again, did it work? No, the Nazis lost. But there's something in there where I'm like, I can't imagine all these people are doing this for no reason.
Right.
But I've never experienced it, so I don't know. But
watch baseball all season long. Catch the action live with game day features like StatsView and more from the best seat in the house. YouTube TV. Try it free. Terms apply. Cancel anytime.
But I'm like, there's something going on. Now, as far as this specific case, like, is it possible Paharic was like straight up channeling something? It's hard for me to believe what I haven't seen, you know?
Yeah.
Like, without like actually being there, it's like hard for me to be like, this is going on. Now, I did talk to a friend of mine just recently, grew up in a cult. And in the cult that he grew up in, there was one of these trance mediums. And that was like the leader of the cult. And he would go to these trance sessions like once a week. And the medium would receive messages from a four-longed sort of like human that was like a nobleman, like a doctor back in the day. And was also tapping into like basically like this universal consciousness and like sharing truths about the universe. And I asked him straight up, he's a very smart guy, very nice dude, and like a very like generally like analytical, reasonable human being. Like if you met him, you'd be like, oh, this is like the most normal guy.
Yeah.
And he was like, sometimes it was true for me and sometimes it wasn't. So he's like, do I know for a fact that like this whole thing is BS? No. But do I know for a fact that it was 100% true? Like also no. So even someone that went there, he was like, I don't know what to make of it.
Yeah, but you know, if you're tapped into the infinite truths of a being who knows the full reality of the universe, you should be batting 1,000.
You would think, right?
You kind of have to be.
Yeah.
You can't be batting 500.
Yeah.
You know?
But then I'm like...
But then it's like, it's imperfect. Maybe some of it is good information and you're tapped into something, and then sometimes it, you know, muddles up. And
then is it possible that the medium is like... Yeah, exactly. Is it possible the medium is like getting messages sometimes, but then sometimes not, and is like, oh man, I kind of got...
Yeah, it's got a deadline.
Yeah, I kind of got...
I was up late. I didn't have time to receive transmissions.
Yeah. So now I got to kind of phone it in.
Yeah.
Then you had the telepathy tapes on top of that. You should listen to that pod.
Yeah.
Where it's like these kids with autism that apparently have telepathic powers. And you're like, there's no way. Then you start like hearing the studies they're doing. And you're like, what is going on?
Yeah, I heard there was something. I haven't viewed the source material, but I heard there was some story about like a detective who partnered with, who was very skeptical, like didn't believe any of this shit, but he was working on these cold cases, and then he partnered with a psychic and like immediately solved a bunch of them that he would have never been able to find any other way.
So what's going on?
But then it's also like I'm driving down the highway and there's like a fucking shack that's like, I'm a psychic, and I'm like, okay, well, you're probably not. For $20 you're a psychic? I don't think so.
Yeah. I forget the name of that specific case, the woman that did that.
Yeah.
But it's another crazy one where you're like, it is also the TV
But it's just
show
when something is sometimes true and you want to have a rigorous scientific mind about things. Because the problem is if you're too easy to believe, then you can get led astray, and more often than not, people who are claiming this ability end up being full of shit.
Yeah.
But that does, and so being skeptical feels good because you realize you're not a mark or whatever. No offense.
What's that?
No offense. But over skepticism, I think, can end up reading to me just as dogmatic.
Yeah.
Like I have friends who are like very confident atheists, and I'm just like, you know, I'm not religious, but it's like someone who's like, I'm pretty sure there's no God. I've checked,
but
and
like,
I know
why?
for a fact. And then someone who's like super religious and is like, I'm pretty sure my God's the only one. And like,
you're like, why?
I'm like, yeah. I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure I'm right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty sure how I've been thinking about everything is right all along.
Yeah, I'm a little...
just do your best.
I'm a little averse to, like, certainty. Right? I'm like, there's too much, like, weird stuff for me to believe that, like, what we can see is the only thing that there is. But I'm also...
A lot of the smartest people in your life have no problem saying, I don't know about that.
Yeah. But then also...
because they're being rigorous with themselves and saying, like, yeah, I can't say for sure. I don't know.
But also a hyper-dogmatic believer that's like, dude, God's real, and I've seen him. I'm like...
So intoxicating.
But I'm like, no, maybe.
Yeah.
I've reserved a little bit of...
Well, and it's easier to trick the weakest people when you have the strongest statement.
Yeah. Yeah, it is pretty compelling, especially if you need something. You're like, hey, I talk to God, and he actually only talks to me, and so if you want to talk to God,
right,
I'm the path.
Right.
It's like,
and we don't have to make this political, but this happens
bad.
In politics, too. People will fucking promise you the world and be like, this is how it is, and it's like, just finally, someone's just saying it.
Yeah.
And then they're just full of shit.
Yeah. I don't know. If you could do remote viewing, would you try it?
Absolutely.
Would you try past life regression?
Oh, like checking back on my past life?
Yeah.
The first day I got it, I'd probably just be a creep. Remote view, you can see anything?
No, remote viewing past life regression is different.
Wait, remote viewing what?
Remote viewing is different than past life regression.
past life regression, so you can see your previous life.
Exactly. This is under the supposition that reincarnation is real.
Yeah, let's say it. I don't know if I'm a reincarnation guy. I have no idea, but like, I don't know. That seems like this is like the biggest cop out. But part of me is like, it might be too intense. What if you look back at a past life? You're like, whoa, yeah, hey, stop doing that to him. He's a good kid.
I was Hitler.
Yeah,
goodness.
Yeah, exactly. That's tough. That's tough. And then all of a sudden, you're like bringing that up on a first date.
Yeah.
You get a few too many drinks in you. It's like, how was your week? You're like, I found out I used to be Hitler.
I'm not anymore. I'm not. I love everyone, but I used to be.
The girls are like, I am undownloading Hinge immediately.
I don't want to
do this at all. Yeah. I liked him. He has a good job. He has a good family. He's very attractive.
Crazy work
But he used to be Hitler, and he's not 6 feet tall.
Red
so
flag.
those two were deal breakers.
Literally a red
me.
flag. The reddest flag you can imagine.
Literal red flag.
Yeah, that is a little tough.
I don't know. I feel this way. Like, I have a friend, really good family friend, super close, love her to death. And sometimes we would like get together. We do like a family Christmas party every year. And she's mystical, and she would do like a card reading, you know? And I don't really believe in any of this shit, but like I love her, so I'm like, okay, she wants to do the card reading, we'll do the card reading. And we did it like a couple years in a row, and like it was like kind of intense and like ended up being kind of spot on.
So we're gonna do the background harmonies like this. Check it out.
I mean, come on.
That's it right there.
It's crazy.
Let's do the first verse.
Let's do it.
You've got something I've been searching. Before you, my world was empty, open.
And so it just got to the point where we were kind of like, she's like, should we do cards? And we're like, let's just do a shot.
Twister?
Let's do a shot?
Twister.
Do a shot.
Yeah.
Because she's good.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know if I believe cards or if I'm like, does she just know us and she just know? But she just hit on a lot of shit. And some of that stuff I think is built around, there is some sort of narrative storytelling built into all this stuff that I think kind of like tricks the human brain, and especially when you're hearing about yourself, it's kind of exciting, and it's like,
and then you feel
you're gonna have a big year, but there's gonna be personal stuff too, and you're like, no shit.
Yeah.
That's most years.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It was enough that I was like, I don't know, maybe let's just keep it chill.
That's how I feel, where I'm like, okay, part of me is like just me filling in the gaps here.
Yeah.
But then I talked to a guy one time, like, this is a very high-earning CEO guy that I know. And he went to a business intuitor. That's her job.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm not a psychic, I'm not a medium, I'm an intuitor. And he was like, okay. So he gets on a random Zoom call with this girl and describes intimate details about his life to such a degree that he's like, I don't know how you know this.
She did?
Yeah. And she like gets deep into his life and starts giving him advice about stuff that he never asked for, and was like, and again, this is like a academic Ivy League educated like wealth manager that manages like hundreds of millions of dollars. And he walked away from being like, I don't really believe in any of this stuff, but it was a very strange afternoon.
But like, so does like Nardwuar.
Also true.
Maybe people are just good at doing research.
Maybe he's a witch.
Maybe Nardwuar is a witch. Or like Oz. Like, people think Oz, he has like some tricks, but people think some of it is also just like finding people in your life and doing deep research.
Also possible.
And if I was doing it for CEOs and the value of that client was high enough, I might engage in some like private investigation.
Exactly.
Shit like that.
Right?
She might just be, she could just be a hacker.
Yeah. Well,
just gets into his phone.
I had another friend that was like, you know how some comedians are super good at crowd work where they can just like know things? Like they're like, oh, you have this name, so you're probably from this place.
Yeah.
And you're probably of this religion. And you're probably dating a guy and your parents don't like it. And like they're able to like deduce things with extreme certainty.
Yeah.
I was talking to a friend and I was like, what do you think's going on with this? And he was like, I wonder if these people are kind of like that. Where they're like, oh, you're a high-powered CEO, you're probably stressed. And also your marriage isn't perfect. And also you miss your kids because you don't spend a ton of time with them.
The dirty little secret of crowd work, too, is those people picked the clips where they look like a genius.
Also that.
They're not showing you the clip where they're like, okay, you're from Wales, huh? And they're like, nope. And they're like, Next.
Yeah, moving
On
on.
the next guy.
Moving on. Forget this ever
And as
happened.
someone who posts a lot of crowd work, I know.
Yeah.
You just post the shit that hits.
What's your,
Now, obviously, I'm the best at it, but
Yeah, of course. What's your star sign?
what do you think it is? This is the other thing is everyone who has ever told me they know all this shit about horoscopes, and like I'm on stage talking for an hour. They've known me for years. I ask, they never know. They're never right.
Aquarius.
No.
That's a random guess. I don't know anything about horoscopes.
Neither do I. Capricorn.
Well, do you want to know your daily reading?
I would love to. I will also tell you this. The funniest thing about Capricorn too is I'll be like, I don't believe any of that shit. What do you think I am? And they'll like guess 3 things, and then finally I'll be like, I'm a Capricorn. They're like, of course you don't believe in it.
Yeah.
Like,
Capricorns never believe
You
it.
can't do that.
Yeah.
That's
Well, Capricorn. You can see where a loved one has been going wrong, but they are still blind to the realities of the situation. So they will have to learn from their own mistakes, while all you can do is be ready to help pick up the pieces.
yeah. That's probably true for everyone right now.
Well, what's yours, Christos?
I told you last episode. You don't remember?
Virgo.
Leo. Last day of Leo, so you're kind of close.
All right, ready?
Yep.
Here's yours. It's good to listen to advice, but sometimes the best advice comes from within, and what your inner voice tells you over the next 24 hours will personally provide the answer you've been looking for a personal problem. It could also be pure gold financially.
Sounds like I'm pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's also great advice for everybody. It's just good advice to take.
Does that connect with you?
Over the next 24 hours is a little urgent, but
You're about to
Well-
get rich, dude.
That's also the Virgo horoscope. That's not Leo. I read it different.
by a day. So
Oh, so you're close.
This is all just good advice. It should be on a day calendar. Yeah, listen to yourself. Believe in yourself. Like this is great. Like, and so that's where I'm like, and this is where it goes. A lot of this shit that's non-scientific, but like probably helpful.
Yeah.
what's yours, Mark?
Are you ready?
Yeah.
You
It
ready for
says
mine?
you're a big fucking bitch.
Yeah. Why all caps gay? You will push yourself too hard, and you can strain yourself physically and have to sit out the fun and games over the weekend. Ignore what others say you should be doing and embrace the lazy Libra tag, which is actually far from true.
I would not be surprised if he made that up because he doesn't want to have fun this weekend. I don't even know if that's true or if he saw the text from Miles before I came in that was like, anybody eating or drinking tonight? And Mark was like, hold up, let me just mix this in an hour and a half into the pod and be like, I gotta lay low this weekend, guys.
Look, dude, the scales of the sky said I gotta take it easy. What can I say? All right, well, one other thing for you. What about hypnosis?
Yeah.
Make your browser fast. Make your browser safe. Make your browser Chrome. Choose Google Chrome for your computer.
Plumbing problems require fast action. Keep work flowing with next day delivery on most orders. Call clickgranger.com or just stop by.
Also skeptical.
Really?
Yeah.
That's one that I'm like, I don't know if you.
It is weird. Like I have seen like at shows, like hypnotists go up and do shit that like works.
Yeah.
So like there's something to it. I know there's like hypnotherapy, but like I don't know. I did crowd work with a hypnotherapist. It's on my Instagram, Joey Avery. But you know, he was full of shit.
You did hypnotherapy?
No, he was a hypnotherapist, and he was explaining how it's like helpful. And then I was like, "Do you do it?" And he's like, "Yeah, sometimes, but it's a little expensive."
Whoa. Well, this is the thing that I don't get though, because like I read a book about this. Reality is plastic. And it's an interesting book about the philosophy of hypnosis, where it's like I think there's one tier which is basically like fake hypnosis, where like a guy goes on stage and he's like, "You're a chicken," and the person that pretends to be a chicken is kind of doing like improv.
Yeah.
And then there's another level where it's like I talked to a guy that got hypnotized during a stage show, and I was like, "What happened?" And he was like, "It felt like I was kind of in a dream, where like I knew where I was, but for some reason what he was saying like made sense, but it doesn't obviously when I look at the video, but like in the dream it made sense." You know how things happen to you in dreams? We were like we had to do this thing, and like I don't know why, but it was super urgent in the dream.
Oh, dude, I met gnomes in my dream the other night.
And what they talked about?
Well, first of all, I was like, these gnomes can't possibly be real, the skeptics. So then I fucking dapped one up, and it was crispy. I was like, yo, dude, now I'm dapping up these gnomes. So I was hanging out with these gnomes, but like we were waiting for my mom to get home from this camping trip, and it was taking forever. And so the next thing I knew, I was on like a daytime talk show with the gnomes, and it was just kind of like TV with the gnomes.
What was the?
I don't remember what that was kind of it. And then the next dream, I was just ice skating.
You want a viral clip? That's your viral clip.
That's a viral clip right there, dude.
Yeah. So what do you do for work,
dude?
You make cookies in a tree? Interesting. Interesting job.
The gnomes. Yeah, it was cool. Most of my dreams are usually just about like baseball, but this one was fun.
You have baseball dreams?
Yeah, because the worst is that because I played baseball in high school, and I thought I was going to play in college, and that didn't work out. And so I wonder if that's what the symbolism is, because there's so many times where I'm like playing baseball, and I'm so excited because I get to go up and hit, and then I'll wake up right before I get to hit.
Whoa.
And I'm so fucking pissed because baseball is such a long game, and really you're just trying to hit.
That's all life is. Dude.
That's all life is.
Controlled by a nut.
Shout out to Nut. Shout out to Nut, one of the 9, dude. And if I don't nut, I might as well join ISIS. The other nut.
Yeah, two very different gods.
Very different.
Yeah, very
gods.
different entities.
ISIS is big no nut November. That was kind of their whole thing.
And then nut, I mean, kind of self-explanatory.
Yeah. So, I guess with hypnosis, like, I don't know if I feel like it's connected to some deeper thing, but I do for sure understand that like people can put people into like sleepy, suggestive states.
Well, there's also these cases that happen all the time of sexual assault during hypnosis.
That's not nice at all.
Crazy. But that to me indicates like something's going on.
Yeah.
Where like these people are truly not
investigate.
They're
hypnotists.
Not. Yeah, I mean, your job is that you control people's bodies against their will.
Yeah, that is. Damn.
But like, there was a specific case of a woman that was leaving a hypnotist
comedy
session.
show with Bill Cosby.
Yeah. There was a woman that was leaving hypnosis.
You're getting very sleepy. I can't do it. It sounded like Borat. Fuck. I thought it was going to come out.
It's very nice.
The pudding pop and you're getting sleepy. Yeah. If you don't start with pudding pop, it's hard to stay.
Yeah. He is a doctor.
He is?
Dr. Huxtable.
Yeah.
Who was a gynecologist.
Dr. Huxtable. Oh my God, he was a gynecologist. Is that true?
That is absolutely true. And do you know where his office was? In his basement.
That's not good. That's not good.
Yeah. He was a OBGYN. And he ran a medical practice out of the office on the ground floor of his family's Brooklyn brownstone.
Well, that's not great.
There's scenes of him in the Cosby Show walking upstairs with gloves on, being like, what you doing, kids? And like throwing the gloves down and like eating a sandwich. And it's like,
that is crazy.
Dude, you had those gloves on for a reason.
Little
dog.
wash.
It's a little sketchy. It's like, yeah, you don't want to shit where you sleep. You know?
Yeah.
But there's all these cases of like women that claim to go in for hypnotherapy trying to like quit smoking. They come out of these sessions and they're like, my bra feels weird. What the hell?
Oh.
And then they go into the secret camera and they discover they're getting assaulted. And then the guy goes to jail forever. And there's like,
I'm glad the guy goes to jail.
yeah, I mean, most of the time. Some of the time.
He starts hypnotizing dudes in jail and blasting them.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fucking crazy.
But there's all these cases. There's a guy in Michigan, 2024, 73-year-old hypnotherapist who was convicted of first-degree sexual misconduct, and a jury found him guilty of sexually assaulting a woman while they were under hypnotherapy. 2026, a self-taught hypnotherapist went to trial for assaulting 14 women, and investigators discovered that rather than relying purely on a trance state, he was slipping pills into it. So that one doesn't exactly.
Just the date rape hypnotist?
Yeah.
That is insane.
It's crazy. Like, what? Like, how effed up is that? These people are evil.
It is horrible.
And then on top of that, this one is a crazy one. I've never even heard this one before. Lawsuit settles for $600,000 for families of 3 teens who died after being hypnotized by school principal.
What?
With YouTube Premium, watch ad-free, offline, and in the background. And listen ad-free on the YouTube Music app. That's right, 1 subscription, 2 apps. Continue watching the highest quality videos from anywhere by seamlessly switching devices. Set up automatic downloads so your favorite videos are ready when you are. And play videos when your screen is off or when you use other apps. There's more to discover with Premium. Try 1 month free.
So Principal Kenny was not a licensed hypnotherapist. This is coming from the Damore Law Group, so I'm assuming
Kenny
it's
is
true.
insane.
And he had been warned against hypnotizing students. And he had hypnotized many of the... before he hypnotized them, he had been told that he had to stop practicing hypnosis. And
This should have disqualified him from being principal.
You would think, right?
Hey, we're going to give you 3 warnings.
Yeah.
You got to, hey, first of all, you can be principal of the school if you stop hypnotizing. We heard you're still hypnotizing, and we would sternly like to say cut it out.
But what if he's hypnotizing a bad kid for not doing bad things?
Right, did it ever work? But wait, so kids died under hypnosis? What did he have them do?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. 3 students.
Kenny was his last name.
Yes.
I thought they were just calling him Principal Kenny.
2011, 3 students at Northport High School in Florida died within weeks of each other after being hypnotized by their principal. So this 16-year-old student died by self-harm a day after the hypnosis session. Another student died in a car crash after being reportedly self-hypnotized, a technique that he learned from Kenny. And then a 17-year-old student died by self-harm after receiving hypnosis for test anxiety. So what's going on with that?
Could be a coincidence.
That like, hey, these are some kids with some troubles, and I'm gonna help them.
He self-hypnotized while he was driving,
which that's probably not a good look.
Not a good idea.
But who knows? Maybe there's something with like disassociating someone's brain while you're hypnotizing them.
Died just a day after hypnosis.
Not great.
Yeah.
Not great.
No.
But I'm like, there's something with hypnosis
misdemeanors.
that I think is a little real. Something with hypnosis.
We get a picture of Kenny here.
It's a good question.
George Kenny.
There he is. Down.
Oh, Jesus.
That guy down. Scroll down.
Dr. George Kenny.
There he is.
There he is, just fucking hypnotizing kids.
Crazy.
Now, what if he had an Indian name?
I would follow
If he
him.
had an Indian name,
I would go with him till the ends of the earth.
I think if he was Principal Sugawaranandanai, then people would be like, look, it's not his fault.
Yeah.
He's just trying to show him the light.
Yeah. All right, so let me ask you a couple questions just to button this thing up, shall we?
Yeah.
As far as non-local consciousness, then maybe there's some type of consciousness outside of us. Do you give it like not that weird or still pretty weird?
I would say not that weird. I think ever the fence sitter, I think that consciousness might be both. I don't think that we're maybe just an antenna only receiving consciousness from outside. I think that there's very clearly some level of it that is, exists natively within the brain.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think it is probably possible to connect to something else, and I think that us not knowing what that is what leads to a lot of our differences of opinion on religion, matters of the extraterrestrial, what happens after people die, these sorts of things.
Yeah.
Because it's unclear. But I think that we all feel like there's something and we just don't know how to describe it.
Remote viewing, one person being able to find a target hundreds of miles away and being able to see it. Weird or probably solved?
It's weird. This one I have a harder time with.
Yeah.
I'm not as read into it as you are,
Fair.
but I find difficulty imagining that that's been repeated in a scientifically provable space.
Uri Geller bending some spoons. Weird, or you think we got that
I don't know about Yuri. I don't know about Yuri or Dr. Pooh.
Yeah, what about Puharich channeling these 9 entities and basically performing a seance to communicate with the gods that control all civilization?
Again, I would say no on that one. I'm not saying that the 9 isn't real, but I think that the 9 have a lot of other experiences that people have claimed that contend with them. And it's like, maybe you clocked in with these 9, but, the Greeks were clocked in with different gods. People have different gods for things. I don't know.
Maybe they're all the same 9, though.
Maybe.
And
I don't know if the names are right.
Yeah, well, I mean, do you follow...
I don't know
Nut?
about Nut. Yeah, I don't know about Nut.
Yeah. But
where do you fall on it?
I just don't know anything, dude. I'm trying to figure out the secret teachings of the universe. Every single time I come to this tent, I think I'm going to crack the case, and I'm so far off. I'm like, remote viewing, I think maybe someone did it where it was like pretty good.
Yeah.
I bet you someone, maybe a couple people did it, maybe Ingo Swann, maybe even Uri Geller at times, and they did something where they were like, we don't know how this is possible.
Yeah.
And I think maybe a couple. It's rare.
Yeah.
As far as like hypnosis, I think there's some versions of hypnosis where people are truly outside of their brain and they're not really, the lights are on and no one's home. As far as Puharich channeling 9 entities that are actually controlling the world, and one of them is Ra or something like that, or like Atum is like hanging with the council and they're guiding all civilization. I'm going to say probably not.
Yeah. I believe that he believes it.
Yeah.
I don't think he's lying. I think that that's an experience. And I think that altered states of consciousness, whether you're achieving them through psychedelics or extreme meditation, which can get you there, it will make you feel like you're communing with some real outside entity. But then I think people have this need to come back and be like, I figured it out.
That's
I
a good way
have
to put
met
it.
the entity. I have met the God, and now that I have figured this out, we can take what I'm saying as fact and build truth surrounding it. I think that's where we get into trouble.
Yeah.
Like I do believe that they experienced that, but again, it could be the creative depths of our own mind. It could be that you're communicating with something else, but there's no way to prove it.
Yeah.
And so directionally it feels true, but if we're going to take claims this extreme as fact,
It's kind of tough.
it's kind of tough because if we're really saying we know this for a fact, it would need to change how we're conducting all of our business.
You just even, I think, put it better than I did. I think that's a great way to look at it. I view like someone that does like a trance mediumship or like communicates with an entity the same way as I look at someone telling me a crazy mushroom story.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, I don't doubt that you saw something.
Yeah.
And I don't doubt that it was transformative for you or maybe even gave you like insight as to like your own consciousness or maybe the universe at large. But I'm just going to kind of take it as like an interesting story